Afternoon, everybody. It's Lit Soc. It's Thursday. We are back after the triumph of the fashion show, which I believe went very well. Who was involved? Yeah?
I won. My house won.
Your house
My
won?
house won.
And who was that?
Pancast.
And why did you win?
We won because of our excellent dances and our white and gold dress design.
Oh, okay. And who designed the dress?
Oh, I can credit all the designers in my class, but I didn't
Yeah.
know in the other classes. Phoebe Riddell.
Just first names.
Just
Izzy,
first names, lovey.
Izzy E. Who else? And Esme. Oh, wait.
Well done to you all.
There
Yeah.
must be more.
That's great.
What you could credit them all. That was them all.
All right. Well done.
I hope.
Well done. So this week we are looking at anthropomorphic animals. Anthropomorphism is very, very ancient. It goes right back to really before Greek myths, because there are still religions in the world where humans become animals. That's called shamanism, and there are certain tribes in Canada, Alaska, Inuit, who become the animals they hunt. But also, so that's sort of seeped into all our sort of fiction for children, really, but not even, or just even young adults. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. I'm going to start with our favourite.
Where else?
A bear called Paddington. Do you remember him in assemblies this week?
Oh, yeah.
Yes?
What assemblies? Huh?
SLT assemblies.
SLT assemblies?
Main hall.
No.
Oh, I wasn't there. You weren't there. Yeah, we had
You all missed it.
Come on, you
Really?
can't
None
all
of you
have
went?
missed it.
I and Annabelle had
Did you go, Emily?
We have scholars mentor.
Who took assembly this week?
Geography ambassadors. So you remember it then? Okay.
Oh, that.
You don't?
I forgot Paddington made an appearance.
Paddington did make an appearance. Not a big appearance,
What
I
was the
agree.
topic on? What's the topic on? Remember, the geography people came in and they talked about Tim Marshall books.
Tim Marshall books, yeah. Connections, communication. And Mrs. Francis talked about going to Calais.
I do. I don't.
Okay,
Oh,
so.
because you're a... Okay,
All right, well, maybe a recap from Miss Huntley
Okay,
perhaps then.
recap from quickly then. In
I did
20... When did we make him our mascot?
Oh, must have been.
2016?
Oh, yeah.
Before
if
that.
not earlier, I reckon 2013, 2014.
2013.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a terrible refugee crisis across Europe to do with the Syrian civil war. And as a result, and also because the first Paddington film came out, we decided to make Paddington, sadly at home today, our mascot, because we were so concerned about the way that refugees were being treated as criminals. And so many of them, well, they're just not. They're not. They just lost their homes. And in assembly this week, Mrs. Francis had been to Calais, which is quite a sad place because lots and lots of refugees end up there. They have no food or shelter because the French police are very draconian in the way they treat them. And there was a poster on a door with a picture of Paddington and his suitcase saying migration is not a crime. So Paddington, of course, is a bear from where?
Peru?
Darkest Peru, that's right, yes. And he stows away and ends up at Paddington Station, after which he's called, causes mayhem but much love in the Brown household, with his hat and eventually his duffel coat. There's his duffel coat. Yeah, okay. And he makes his friend called Mr. Gruber. Do you remember the film, Mr. Gruber?
Yeah.
Yeah? And what do we know about Mr. Gruber? Can you remember?
Well, he's a man.
The man, yes, who runs the antique shop.
He likes antiques.
But where was he from?
Where was he from?
That was like a wild
Like a guess.
Where from?
Syria?
Not from Syria.
Is he an immigrant?
Yes, he
Sudan.
came on the Kinder transport from Germany before the war, before the Second World War began. So there's this theme of refugees finding a home in Britain, and we've been very good at that over the years, over the centuries, really. Okay, so that's my first choice of anthropomorphic animals who talk today, and the if you remember the film, it's a bit of a problem for Mr. Brown. He hesitates. In the book, it's not quite like that. Michael Bond, sadly no longer with us, but he is so endearing. And if you haven't read the stories, I do heartily recommend them because he is very, very funny. It's a lovely setting of London, and Paddington trying to understand the difference between the jungle and London is quite something again. And also, the other thing about the film is that throughout the film they have a band, and the band is a Caribbean band, and of course that's to do with the Windrush generation as well. So there's all sorts of themes and things. Anyway, there we are, our first anthropomorphic animal. Okay, so who would like to go next? Annabelle, do you want to go next with Northern Lights?
Yeah.
Yep, come and take the
you
chair.
Go after Annabelle. Okay.
Wait, I didn't think of Northern.
You can talk about it as well.
Oh, no, I was just
Of course you can.
thinking.
There are lots. There are 3 or 6 books now, aren't there? Or
Yeah.
not 6,
I've only
5
read the
books
first
now.
Well, there are the Book of Dust
The Book
as
of
well,
Dust, yeah.
and then there are like Lyra's Oxford, and then
Yes, that's true.
there are
He loves
quite
to
a
drag
few.
on his series.
Well, it's because the publishers.
It's
say, well,
because
we
it's
quite like
amazing.
something else now.
He's not the only one who does that, there's plenty of
Oh
examples.
yeah, Keeper of the Lost Cities
Inheritance.
has like about it's going to have like 11 books in just the main series,
Really?
and there's like half books as well. Like, I know.
Why would they?
And they're big ones.
I think this might be another topic for another day, perhaps.
Yes, endless series.
Endless series.
Never finished.
Yeah.
Go on,
We should do a Litsoc on that, like
Yeah,
really
that's-
long series.
That's what I just said. But yeah, let's go.
Yeah. So I'm talking about
Shh.
the Northern Lights,
Northern Lights.
and this has been my favourite childhood book growing up. And I always liked the fact that animals could speak.
Mm-hmm.
And you do have actual animals like bears, like the bears that can speak. But there are also,
The armoured bears.
yeah,
Like on the cover there.
yeah. But then there are also demons, which are little animals that resemble a piece of your soul on your shoulder. And when they're a child, they can change animals to fit with different moods, different needs. And then when you're older, they settle into one animal. And,
So what would yours be?
well, I think when I was younger, I was like really, really, really obsessed with this book. And I had a little like ferret toy.
Oh, yeah.
Like Lyra's, and I always used to put it on my shoulder, and I put a magnet inside of it, and then I put a magnet like underneath my shoulder so it'd sit on my shoulder. And I always used to, like, in year 4,
Sounds like Eleanor with her head on Hitchhiker's.
and I called it
We haven't
Pan,
done Northern Lights.
and I was just it was
No, we
just
haven't.
like the
Everybody
best.
has to do their demons. Do you remember? We had a long time ago. We had one,
Yeah.
and we all had to work out each other's spirit demons, didn't we? Who were you? What were you?
I can't remember.
Can't
All the
remember.
more reason for us to do it again.
I think you'd be
Yeah.
a puffin,
I
and
feel
I
like
don't know
a
why.
Puffin.
Annabelle,
I'll take
I
that.
feel like
I can
you'd
see
be
you
some
being
sort
a
of
puppy.
puppy.
I'll take
Like
that.
some
No,
sort of dog.
okay.
I feel like I'd be a golden
Take that.
retriever,
That's what I'm saying.
but not a golden
Alright.
a red retriever.
Right, okay. So
Okay.
Because they're like
Some of
longer.
the-
and
Okay,
they're, like,
post these to folks. We'll do a Northern Lights one. Anyway,
Okay, Annabelle,
back to
show us
Annabelle.
some of the pictures.
Yeah, there's beautiful pictures in there.
Are there?
Monkey.
There is a monkey in Northern
I mean,
Lights.
you're all
Nice
familiar.
monkey.
You must be at least passingly familiar with the story of Northern Lights, I'm sure, right?
I watched
Yeah.
it and I
I tried
started
to
reading it, but maybe it was just out of spite, but I never finished it because you won't read Percy Jackson, Annabelle.
Yeah, I think it's like.
Can you
That sounds like a
find
debate.
No, I can sympathise with
I've
you.
tried to read it.
Oh,
and
yeah,
it
there you
was
go.
awful.
That's a great one there. With
And I tried to read it.
what's the name of
but
that
I
one?
got-
Big? Can you remember? It's
I didn't get the
Sky. It was like something like Sky.
Oh yeah, there they are.
yeah. There's the Northern Lights themselves,
Yeah, and there's
And yeah.
which are beautiful if you ever get to see them, of course.
And the book itself, it's a really good book. And I read it when I was like quite young, like year 4. But I think I would be able to read it now and I'd still enjoy it. It's for all ages. And I think that the book can be taken 2 ways, like as a fantasy when you're younger and it's like all about adventures and things. But when you're older, there are like topics in there that do appeal to adult and older audiences as well. So I think it's quite nice because it touches on everything.
Yeah, it's a first and foremost a children's book, but it's an example of how good a children's book can be with the themes it explores, definitely.
And I think it's just one of the most well-written books there is out there, and I stand by that.
Yeah, I agree. It's a great book.
So I think everyone who hasn't read this before should read it.
So to stick with the theme of today's theme.
Demon, what is it set in?
A pine marten.
Pine marten.
What's
that's
that?
right.
Looks like a
Have you
stone.
never
It's a
seen
bit
one?
like it's
Looks a bit like
a
it's
stone
basically a
ferret.
ferret.
Pale
They're kind of
ears.
long and like.
It's like a
bending
ferret,
bats,
but that lives in
kind
the
of.
wild.
Long brown and
A
with
wild ferret.
pale beige ears.
So, like-
And voiced by the guy who played Kit Connor. I can't remember his
Kit,
name.
he didn't play Kit Connor. He
Sorry,
is
he
Kit
is Kit
Connor. Oh my god!
I don't know.
How dare you?
Sorry.
Let's quarrel on camera.
Yes, I know, it's a bit unsavoury, guys.
Yeah.
Pants Alaman. Would you say he's the most intriguing of all the animal creatures in Northern Lights, or is it one that you think is more?
I think he is because he's the one that's mainly focused on. But I think that the characters, like the other animal demons, they really show a lot about the character, and you can immediately tell, like when reading the book, what it likes to do is rather than describing the person, it describes the demon.
Yeah, so Mrs. Coulter, you don't trust him from the beginning, do you? Because her demon is very sinister.
Yeah, pretty nasty.
So there are certain things which you just like associate with people, and it gives you quite like a dive into like their personalities. Even though if they're really nice on the outside, this is a part of their soul, so it's what they're actually like.
What's interesting is that whatever gender they are, the demon is the opposite gender, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think that's also quite interesting because it shows that like people don't just have like that on the topic at the moment. It also shows like that not all people have one gender, and you can, and that parts of your soul are like male and female at the same time. So, and it shows that all people are like equal in a way. So
Wait, Annie, could they be like deceptive? Because if you have like a snake, but you're not actually like you don't like trick people or anything. You're just like really like smart, but in like a kind of like more cunning way. Like,
well,
wouldn't
then
it be, like,
exactly.
you know?
But that's like the
Do
way.
people have snakes? I can't remember because
Yeah.
I like watched it ages ago.
Well, I
There is a snake, isn't
There
there?
is
It's to
one.
do with one of the magisteriums, isn't it?
yeah
Doesn't some guy have like a bug?
yeah.
What does the bug say about you?
Well,
That you can
I feel like I would be pretty.
you can
bad
fly
with bugs.
free and fit into tight corners.
Bugs have souls too, you know.
Exactly.
I think-
but like we don't know much.
bugs are like no one thinks really of them, but they can do a lot.
Okay.
They can survive nuclear holocaust, but they can't do. But
But they can't cause them.
yeah.
Okay, well, thank you, Annabelle. Thank you very much. Do you want to go next then, Lisa?
I'll go next. Yeah.
You go next. So Annabelle, you sit there.
No, you sleep on your
Okay,
side.
so
No,
I feel like
sleep on my side.
last time I was here, I talked about this, but I'm going to talk about it
Oh, well,
again.
never mind.
I remember.
Because I read it like the first one like at the end of December, and I read the first two in like January, so it wasn't that long ago. But anyway, so it's basically like a fantasy. It's Tahara Mafi's second series. Yeah, she's coming out with a new one and a third one next month. I'm really excited. Anyway, but basically it's like about like the jinn, and like which is like kind of where like genies came from. Like yeah, and but like the talking animals in it is like they have dragons. It's not like a huge part, but they're like really cool. And some like people, if they train, I think they have to train for it. But some people can like talk to the dragons and like different animals and stuff like that. But it's like they like speak it a different language that can be learnt and like taught, but not something that comes like instinctively to people. But I think it's more implied in a way that it's like because people don't care enough to like listen to what the animals are saying. So yeah, it was really cool.
That can be a common theme, right? The humans are ignorant and
Yeah,
and even
especially as it's like
arrogant as well.
especially as like it's like a big theme throughout the book. That's like on like harsh judgment of people who like aren't deserving and like whole species as a whole, because it's like the regular people are like extremely judgmental of the jinn and like cast them aside and kind of like put loads of bans on their like skills and powers and stuff because they're like scared of what they can do, and also just because they generally think that they misunderstand them, and so it's kind of like a reflection of that, but like in the animals as well.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Do you think she was making a point there, the author?
Yeah, I think they're probably because this is the first one, but that she's got 3 so far, and the 4th one's coming out at the end of this year. And I feel like so far they haven't been like much of a very big theme, but they said that there are like fireflies and they're like cast as like protectors of people.
Okay.
And then the dragons are also like protectors of like the one of the like countries as a whole, and so but I think they're going to be like more in the next book because it's got like a dragon on the cover, and so it's probably going to be picked up on like more there because the first ones were more about like the prejudice against like the jinn.
Okay.
But
yeah, well, it'll be interesting to see if the fireflies are maybe like bees in our world.
Yeah, because it's like,
and we don't appreciate them in the way that we
But
should.
It's really good. I think everyone should read it.
It's very popular. Has anyone else read these? There must be. These are. Very,
Everyone's
very
read
popular.
Shatter Me, but no one's read this one. This one's really good. It's like
Shatter Me is very popular.
it's like just as good as it, but like barely anyone's read it. It's like newer though, so that might be why.
Is it
Yeah.
like underrated?
It's definitely underrated because everyone I know who's read it is like it's amazing. Like I know some people who like it's way better than Shatter Me as well, but no one has read it. So
Have you all read Have some of you read Shatter Me at all?
I read the first one.
Okay, so that's clear.
Shatter Me gets better after both of her books because the first one it starts off with like a lot of world building and stuff. So like they get better as they go through. So I know loads of people who've like started them but like never finished them. The series, like either of them. But I only know 2 people who've read this, but they both really loved it. So yeah.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Lisa.
TT Indonesia.
Oh, Denisha, one of my library.
Yeah.
Right, who's going next? Lucy?
Sure.
So,
You can sit in Lucy's seat there.
Oh, okay.
So stand.
so this is Pax. As you can see from the front cover, it's about a fox. And it's kind of the story of a boy and a fox trying to find each other again, because at the very beginning, the first chapter, the boy's dad, Pete, tries, takes Pax away from, like, really far away and leaves him there. But it's because they, Pax is he's no longer a cub, and he's not, like, and he's too old now to, like, just live with them so much. So, but for Peter, this is really hard, the boy, and so he sets out to try and get Pax back. And so he goes out alone and travels to try and... He does get to Pax. But I think, first of all, I think even if, like, you're not into, like, fox stories or things like this, it's a good book for everyone to read because it's very sad and happy at the same time, and it's also very philosophical. I really liked it. It's been a while since I read it. I read it once, but I refreshed my mind today.
There are actually quite a lot of children's books about foxes, aren't there?
Yeah, I've got quite a lot of them.
Yeah.
But this one stands out.
This one stands out among all. I've read lots of fox stories, and a lot of them just seem to involve finding a fox in a garden.
Well, that tends to be true.
Yeah. We do see them in gardens, right?
They
So,
do live alongside us. There's one that lives in Palace Road.
Really?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There's one that's on
I keep on seeing that
Probably the
one.
same one.
He just kind of chills there and
Yeah.
like stares at you as you walk past.
After fashion show, I
love
was going
foxes.
home and I saw like 3 foxes, and they were like going into a hedge because of all the cars coming out. Because before it would have been like really quiet, but then they were like all rushing into a hedge, like.
There are loads of foxes where I live as well. Like,
Once I thought
There's plenty of them.
Especially
There's so
when your
many.
neighbours leave out bread. Neighbours.
I had one neighbour who like kept on like trying to like get the foxes to come to her house, and she kind of like kept them in her garden. Like she didn't keep them. They could leave, but like and so there were foxes everywhere. I once thought my cat was a fox.
How big is your cat?
She's a kitten actually. But she's like kind of like tortoiseshell, so she's a little bit ginger, and she's really fluffy, so she looks bigger than she actually is. She's called Rory. It's short for Aurora.
Aurora, there you go. I think
Is
so.
the other one called
So you'd recommend packs then?
I would, because I think everyone can get something out of it.
Do you know where it's set?
It's set in America.
Oh, it's in America.
Do you know how I know that simply from one sentence that didn't even mention America.
No.
He remembered from second grade.
Ah, yes. Yes.
That told me everything I needed to know.
It's true, Lucy. Very true. Yeah, well spotted. Okay.
You know, in America, if like now
have
we
to?
was.
Do tell. Go on then. Frida, tell us.
Me and Lucy would be in 6th grade in America.
I know, I've got a friend in America.
But that makes no sense because we'd be the same age as someone here.
You know,
So why?
in Australia, you'd
It's
be
just
in
different
year
names and things.
6.
Yeah.
It's because we've got like nursery reception in year 1, but they have like different things.
People from another country will look at us and go, what's all this like this year 7 thing? This year 8 thing? You know, it's all...
So to make this reset,
Yeah,
so like year
exactly.
7 would be
So-
like year 1.
Your mind is
So it's
blown.
like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
We've always had years. When
Yeah.
I was at school, it was first, second, third, fourth.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
why the sixth one is the sixth.
I feel
one.
completely unlike.
It's different in different places in
So-
England.
It's still like
So
that.
just bear that in mind
Islanders.
before you pass
Yeah,
judgment on other
year
countries'
one,
school
August,
systems.
Yeah.
Anything else to add?
Well, I got this book from World of Books,
Okay.
and
Which is a great website.
yeah, my
Yep.
mum didn't tell me she was getting it, so she just like surprised me, and I didn't. No
They
one
send you
realised,
something.
but the entire
Oh, the pages are full now.
dear.
Look. Oh
an
no.
entire big part was like,
God, I don't know
ow.
what happens. That happens so often to library books.
How do you glue them back?
That happens to.
I didn't glue them back.
Just chunks just fall out.
Probably
You could
don't.
sew them
It
back.
is too well thumbed.
Yeah.
We have super special repair kits for. Doesn't always work though.
Wait, you can repair them?
Yeah, that's nice.
Like, you sew them together.
Well, you,
You have to super glue
yeah,
them.
you basically
That's
yeah,
like
glue
my
along the
Twilight
binding along the spine.
I kind of
Basically.
have them broken. I mean,
So,
I've never actually.
it's doable.
broken them.
Twilight bits. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's the kind of stuff that you read at 3 a.m. when you can't sleep and you have nothing else left.
Wait,
That's
wait,
hardly a
wait,
glowing
wait,
review,
wait,
is it?
Wait, Annie, what
Yeah.
do you read?
Twilight. I reread it.
All right, now let's not go there. Let's Lucy. Was there anything else you want to say about the world of books or anything else in summary?
Well, I think it was so the chapters are taken from half from Peter's view and half from Pax.
Okay.
And what I would say on the Pax point of view is it's not so much that they speak, but there is dialogue. It's just in italics.
Okay.
And they say in the beginning, from the author, that it's trying to understand the nature of foxes and how they would converse, because it's not just dialogue. They have signs one fox sat down and wagged his tail as if it was wanting to play, and so it's not just dialogue.
Yeah.
Other communication.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Lucy. Yes, Rhea, you can go next.
So
Oh, we have got a unicorn then.
yeah,
Sorry, Miss Huntley.
Scandal and the Unicorn Thief.
Pegasus style.
I can't really say it's it is unicorns.
So what's it called?
Scandal and the Unicorn Thief.
Right. Okay. And is this part of a series?
Yes, and
And
there's
is
still
this 1, 2, 3?
there's 4, but there's a 5th coming out.
Yeah.
And that's
is
number
this
1
of
then.
4?
Yeah,
1 of 4.
1.
That's
This
number
is
one.
number
1.
It's
Yeah.
over there.
Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah, there you go.
So
Oh yes.
it says unicorns, but it's not how you would typically see unicorns as. It's unicorns are I guess pretty and fluffy and stuff, but this is more in a vicious point of view, as if they are attacking.
Well, they do have a
like-
horn.
I mean, not that kind of way. They're seen as kind of scary and but normally the traditional point of view is to see them as pretty and
Say about the elemental power.
yeah, we're getting there. So it's
mostly about unicorns, as the title says. And so there's a mainland and there is an island. And mostly everything is set on the island. And the main character is Skandar. And basically there are 5 elemental powers. Fire, water, earth, wind. And there's also the spirit element, but it's like been banished and no one really knows about it. But like out of everyone, so the island is basically has a school, and it has people who have finished the school who live on the island with unicorns, because some people don't get unicorns and they live on the mainland. And so basically it's about how Skandar gets through his journey through his school, because he's the only person in like the entire of his school who has a spirit element.
At first he has to conceal it.
Yeah, because no one's supposed to know about it. And it's been banished from the island for like a reason that you'll come to know, but it'll be a bit of a spoiler if I said it now. And so it's basically about how he goes through and like how he tries to hide his power from everyone else.
And he's also trying to discover something.
Yeah, he's trying to like.
So it's a sort of quest, then, isn't it?
Yeah. And it's basically the kind of side main characters are like his best friends. So in the school you have to stay with 3 other people, and it's how those 3 other people also help him conceal his power. And yeah, so it's how he goes on the quest and how he finds a unicorn thief, as the title says.
He's got his own unicorn, has he?
Yes.
And what's it called?
Scoundrel's Luck.
Yeah.
What's it
Scoundrel's Luck.
Scoundrel's Luck.
called? Oh, that's
Scoundrel
Good name,
for
yeah.
short.
Oh, it's a bit like a racehorse then.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they do have
Yeah,
races.
Grand National.
There's
Yeah.
kind of like
Yeah.
longer names like this: Falcon's Wrath, Red Knight's Delight, Silver Blade. All the silver unicorns have silver in their name because
Yeah.
silver unicorns are special. You don't get to choose your name.
Yeah.
Your unicorn's name. You just like touch the unicorn
And
for
you
the
know
first
the
time,
name.
you're like, that's his name.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Right. Okay.
So it's like if
Yeah, you can
just
see
So-
you can see influences, can't you?
They
From other
live,
places.
they choose their name.
Have
don't
you read the
And
others?
then
Yeah.
Well, so recommended then.
So like, wait, what?
Do you recommend it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you read these? Just out of interest. These are quite similar.
I've heard of it. I
Yeah.
haven't read it.
If you like Aisling Fowler, Fireborn series, it's sort of somewhere between that and Northern Lights. If I had to give it a crude summary. Well, and both are good. So yeah, so it's a similar kind of thing, and a wintry setting, as you can see. So,
Is it with
but
like-
also, anthropomorphic creatures are at the heart of it. A centerpiece.
Narnia has a unicorn, but in the last book,
Does it?
yes, Jewel.
Yeah. Because not known
I
as a
don't
good
remember
example.
that.
And there's also in the Magician's Nephew, not this one. This is of course the boy. Magician's Nephew. There's Pledge, who is the horse, the taxi, the Hampson cab horse from Victorian London, who turns into a flying horse.
So the Pegasus.
Sort of,
Yeah.
well, it becomes like Pegasus.
Pegasus,
yes.
like.
Yeah,
Does it have wings or is it just?
yeah.
Yeah, I have
Okay.
fly.
That's
Takes the
okay.
children on a journey to Aslan's kingdom.
I'm very particular about what's Pegasus, what's a unicorn, what's a horse, and what's an alicorn.
Yeah.
Alicorn.
An
It's when it
alicorn
has horn and wings.
Yeah. So technically the unicorn and that should be
Which
called
that
alicorns.
looks like is an alicorn.
Oh, you.
It's the more technical term.
I can't lie.
I was
Pegasus are kind of better.
When I was younger,
Yeah,
I
I
was like
prefer
a My Little
Pegasus.
Pony nerd. A My Little
So was
Pony
I.
nerd.
I love My Little Pony.
It's
I
like
never watched
terrifying.
What was terrifying?
4 to
My
7.
Little
My
Pony.
Little Pony.
How is it
My Little
terrifying?
Pony just took over my life.
I had giant teddies of My Little Pony.
Like my bedspread, my curtain, everything. I was committed.
You were like, you would have gotten it too.
Oh, well, we won't hold it against you.
No, we all have phases in our lives,
I'm
don't we?
pretty sure I still have a pillow that has like
Um,
shimmer on it. Or
anything else you wanted to say, Ria? Or
No.
no? Okay, right. Thank you very much then. Right, who's next?
something.
Frida?
Hello.
Hello.
I'm going to talk about Miss Peregrine's.
Hold it up.
But this is the book. This is the graphic novel version.
It's not that.
Okay. Well, this one is called Miss Peregrine's Museums of Wonders, which is like the explanation about stuff you see in the books. And the book, like a series by Ransom Riggs, is called Miss Peregrine's Children's Home for Peculiar Children. It's quite a long title, but basically, the peculiar children will have like different abilities that most people don't get, hence their name peculiars, because they have peculiarities. And I have two that I can remember. So first of all, the Romanian chicken ladies. So it's kind of a stereotype that like people from like old people in that area have like a weird obsession with chickens. But in the book, I'm going to find the page, it's kind of explaining them as peculiarities because those chickens, eggs explode. They're like grenades.
What, as soon as they lay them?
Wait, sorry. Are the people chickens? Like
No,
harpies?
they're not chickens. They're like old women. Like,
Are they like harpies?
So how's this anthropomorphic?
because they
chickens?
can kind of talk to the chickens. Like, if
They
they
talk to
hold it
chickens.
and crack it, it won't explode. But if it's not a Romanian chicken lady,
Right.
So they're like bomb handlers.
So basically,
kind of. But like,
and
no.
if they lay
Sounds like
eggs,
you're
it's
going
a
to read it to
grenade.
understand
Wait,
it to
I
me.
really want
The
to.
guy
get
who
it.
wrote that's
Have you got
married
is
to
there a picture?
That is a picture, which is
This
like,
is the library.
why is that folded?
Yeah.
The author of
Yeah, the pictures in the Miss Peregrine books are really
Oh,
good.
that's-
Yeah, the they edit them really nice
Yeah.
so they look real.
They're put together from. It
Yeah.
looks like
So-
they come from museums.
Can
Yeah.
only the Romanian chicken ladies talk to the chickens?
No, they
Yeah,
don't
sounds
talk.
like it.
They don't talk to the chickens. They like
They talk to the eggs.
they talk to the eggs.
So
I
they
guess.
talk to
Yes.
the un-
They
Yeah,
make sure they don't explode.
Wait,
Oh,
so
okay.
basically
that
the
energy.
chickens
I'm gonna
lay
be-
eggs which can explode.
Are these special chickens?
And
Yes.
if those
Sounds like
ladies
They look
hold the
normal,
eggs,
but
they
they're
don't-
really
They're certainly
not.
different, aren't they?
Do they have normal chickens
If
too?
you took a chicken
Yeah, I
from
get.
England and brought
Okay,
it to
yeah,
this
I know.
place, and the chicken
Oh look,
gave an egg,
wait.
would the
That's
the
one
egg
example of a
explode, or would
Romanian
the
chicken
egg
lady
make
at the
the
bottom.
Romanian
Do they look
chicken
different?
how
Or are they
they
just?
So she's. Oh, she's. Is she talking to the chicken there?
She's kind of, I don't know.
Well, it looks like she's doing something with the chicken.
Yeah. There's a lot of like animals in this collection, like yin brains are like the people that look over the orphanage, but they can turn into ravens.
Wait,
And
so
then-
does it explain this in the book?
Explains a lot about these, but then you also will get like not yin brains, like an odd peculiarity, like a bear, but that's not a yin brain.
So, is the main topic of this book Romanian chicken?
No,
ladies?
it's not.
No,
That-
no.
You
kinda
only
there.
meet them on like,
This is like Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. This is like a
Yeah.
compendium. The main story is in
yeah.
Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children plus all the
Are
sequels.
they just all orphans?
Okay, so-
Like all
They're not
peculiar
orphans.
children are orphans.
They're not orphans, but they go to like an orphanage because basically peculiarities skip lines. Like it's very unlikely that two peculiar parents will have a peculiar child. So like your great grandfather could have been a peculiar, but no one else apart from you would be a peculiar. So then the yin brains will like take you because there are these things called like whites that will like.
They just take
from
you.
your home?
They just
like,
take children.
Like
No, they'll.
sort
I,
of
I,
They just go yoink you.
no, they
sounds like
don't.
local
I think they
children,
put like replacements in, or they put like a spell on the parents.
Oh, like in
Oh, so
fairy
like a
things when it's
changeling.
like
Yeah, like a changeling in like a Midsummer Night's Dream, but
I don't know what that is, but okay.
a
different.
child, like a fairy that's meant to. Look
I'm
like
really
a
angry
child
now because I
is-
can't
You can't
find
one.
that
It's okay.
photo.
It's alright.
Never mind.
Don't worry.
Because I used to always be able to open it and find it, but now I can't.
Anyone else read Miss Peregrine, by
I
the
want
way?
to.
I want to.
Because the guy who wrote that is married to Tahira Mafi.
Really?
Oh, really? I
That's
did
why
not
you
know that.
Yeah, no, because I first saw it.
Why
because of
isn't
that.
she called Tahira Riggs then?
I don't know.
She
Well,
can keep her name.
lots
That's
of
how
all
married.
authors don't want to
Yeah.
Lots of authors.
Oh yeah,
She's
my
also
mum
like
gets
really,
it.
like, she was
Yeah,
also
she might
well
have taken
known
his name officially, but
because they
people write under pseudonyms. You
also,
know,
if she was
Yeah.
famous before, then
Like-
it's like more well known.
AF Steadman. Her name is not AF, right?
Yeah, like
So-
J.K. Rowling. That's not
But-
her actual name.
They
Yeah,
can
there
find
are
it in the
like
library.
lots
Yeah.
of
Oh, that's
animal
That's
communicators. Like this one boy called Hugh who is in Miss Peregrine's ward, and he has bees flying out of his mouth.
That sounds good.
So he has to kind of wear
A bit
this.
like Ronald Weasley when he gets that slug charm on him. And he's
No, nothing. No, not like that. Not like that. No, now you're making me think it's like that. No, they kind of like just buzz out his mouth, so he's to wear like a beekeeper thing.
Sounds a bit
Yeah, he
nightmarish.
can control the
Because if you
bees.
can't control the bees, then there's like, what's the point of like coughing them
In
out?
one of the stories, there were like, so peculiars and like gypsies, like, I don't know how to like you know the traveling gypsies,
Lonely,
like
yes.
yeah, those kind of people have a special connection with peculiars, and basically these gypsies lied for the peculiars in one of their adventures, and they were keeping the gypsies in lied for them because there are these people called whites who want to eat their eyes because it's really
The
long.
peculiar's eyes or
The peculiar's eyes. They want to eat their eyes.
Okay.
Tasty. But the point is,
It's like eating like
No.
Hugh, the guy with the bees in his mouth, saves the gypsies because he told the bees to go sting the people who were beating up the gypsies and killing them. So he can control the bees.
Are the bees magic in any way?
I would say
Do they have
yes,
magic?
because you know how normal bees sting and then they
Well,
go.
they only sting.
Yeah, they sting before they die.
Well, they die, but they
Yeah.
have to. Yes, if they sting, they
Yeah.
have to feel very, very threatened in order
Yeah.
to sting.
But basically, I'm pretty sure that Hugh's bees can just do that and they'll respawn back into his mouth.
So they're the same bees.
If bees,
Same bees.
when bees sting, do they die?
Yes, because
But then
Because
why
they
would
break
they
out.
sting?
Because when they're
they
scared.
feel very, very threatened.
It's a last resort.
If they're gonna die,
It's a
because
last
they're threatened,
resort.
then why would they sting? Because they're gonna die anyway.
It's like those people in action movies who have like the poison in the fake tooth because when they get captured. But that's actually so they can't give them information. Never mind.
They have
But
to
it's
feel
like-
very threatened.
Yeah.
And then there's one more
Or the
girl.
hive has to feel very threatened.
Yeah, so they
Well,
might
it's
sacrifice
like-
themselves to
it's
protect
like
the hive.
If someone
As an
was
example.
at you overnight,
I was laying on the beach.
you always had a secret weapon to be
Was
able to,
that a bee?
was it a
Or
If
Yeah,
they
there
threw
was
something
like
at
a
them,
Yeah,
and
but
then
I would
they go
stab
away.
them.
that might have been an
Then
accident.
they-
Sometimes it
they
happens
also
by accident.
throwing some-
Might have happened by
you
accident.
also have to
Might
throw,
not have meant
throw
it.
the thing at you as well.
No, but if I
No. It's
Yeah.
like those people who take
Um,
cyanide things
Don't worry about finding it. It's okay.
in
But-
action movies so they don't.
All right. Well, thank you, Frida. Thank you very
Thank you very
much. There's some very interesting imagery in that one.
Give that.
Okay, who we got left?
Anybody
Emily,
else?
Josie. Josie, do you want to go next?
Josie?
Oh, sorry.
I got Aristophanes frogs.
Oh, there we go.
So going very far back
Aristophanes.
to 400.
Careful, Frida. You've got any injuries. You all right? Did you hit your hand?
It's just when I like brought my foot along this thing.
Okay. As long as he's not
I
hit.
got lost in the crash. What is it?
Aristophanes.
Aristophanes frogs.
wait, what is that?
Aristophanes frogs. So it's an ancient Greek play from 405 BC, and it's a comedy. But as part of that, they go down to the underworld to try because Dionysus is like all the good playwrights have died. So I'm going to go to the underworld and I'm going to test them, and whichever one is better, I'm going to take back to Athens, and then we can have some good theatre again. And so, but as part of that, he goes down to the underworld and he goes on the boat down the underworld, and there's some frogs, and they're the chorus, half of the chorus are frogs, and they scare him a lot. But so it's meant to imitate the sound of frogs croaking. They say brekakakex coax coax over and over again, but then they also start singing. So they sing, "Oh, we are the musical frogs, we live in the marshes and bogs. Sweet, sweet is the rhythm that we sing as we swim, and our voices are known for their beautiful tone. When on festival days we sing to the praise of the genial god, and we don't think it odd when worshipping throng to the sound of our song." But yeah, so they sing and they rhyme, but it's quite funny because they're not really saying anything particularly terrifying, but Dionysus is
That's the point. That's the point.
Yeah, two of the frogs started talking to me, but I
This
was like,
sounds
I
like
was
a
both right.
This sounds like
Yeah.
a kid has no
But-
TV, so he goes to like a production place, and he tests everyone to see who's the best like movie maker, and then he makes them make a movie for him.
Never heard of that.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Carry on.
But yeah, and then
Dionysus is so scared by it, then he starts imitating the frog noises as well. So he starts saying brekakets, coats, coax. But despite being called the frogs only appear while he's going down to the underworld. Unfortunately, they don't come back.
That's a shame, isn't it?
Does he bring back a
But he does bring back a playwright, so it's between Aeschylus and Euripides, and he brings back Aeschylus, which bit of a contentious
that's a
decision.
controversial one, isn't it?
Yeah.
But the whole play is about kind of like old versus new, and Aeschylus represents the old,
So
and
who wrote it?
Aristophanes. So
Didn't Aristophanes do one called The Wasps as well?
yes, yeah. It's
Oh, is
also
that in there as well?
The Wasps.
Have you read that one?
I have not read The Wasps.
Okay.
There's a very famous overture by Roy Williams for the Wasps.
Yeah, The Frogs was adapted into a musical by Sondheim as well, which is going to be on. I think it starts being performed in London
This isn't
a week.
the newest one then, is it? Because it's not called The Frogs. Is this the one that they're putting on at the National?
No, I think they're putting it on at Southwark Playhouse.
Oh right, okay.
But unfortunately, they're putting it on 2 weeks after I will have sat my exam in it, so that's a bit unfortunate. But yeah, it's quite a fun play. It's very chaotic. I would say it's got a lot of political references, so it's a bit hard to read without any context. But yeah, and also the playwrights, they're comparing introductions of their plays with each other, so you don't really get the jokes being made. Although there is quite a funny thing where they just keep keep saying stuff to prove it's so repetitive. They substitute a little bottle into every single one, which is quite silly. But it's just silly because it's meant to be this great god of Dionysus, and they would have performed the plays. It's meant to be in honour of Dionysus, but Dionysus is scared by a group of frogs singing at him.
Not so
Dionysus being scared of anything, but there we are.
Yeah,
He's god of wine and partying.
Exactly, yeah, living it up.
He's quite a different character in Aristophanes' plays.
musical frogs there.
I feel like most people should be scared of musical frogs.
As a rule, you'd think, yeah.
Imagine if a frog just came up.
This is a god we're talking about, you know?
Because if a frog did come up to someone and started singing and they didn't bat an eye, I would be quite why have you seen this before? Why aren't you so texting?
Yeah. I'd make them harmonise with me.
You'd be doing a duet.
Interesting.
Yeah, I could get a gang of frogs to be my backing vocals.
I don't gang of frogs.
What's the
Go
correct?
back to ancient Greece for something. That's good.
Absolutely, yeah. Excellent.
Yeah. Thank you, Josie.
All right, thank you very much, Josie.
Thank you.
Good stuff. Emily? Aha. Hopefully one that everyone is familiar with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic, Mr.
Fantastic,
Fox.
Mr. Fox. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, why do you like it?
I just think it's really funny, and then it's really cool how there are farmers who make specific things. And then-
Boris Benson Bean.
Yeah.
I'm Bean in the ESL production.
Are you?
I'm Bean.
Fun. Cider.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And turkey.
Yeah, apparently I have turkeys.
Oh, and turkeys, yeah.
But at the same time, I contradict myself by saying Bunce has turkeys. I
Okay.
don't know why.
Bunce
Okay.
has duck and geese.
I know. It's so confusing.
Anyway,
They
so-
also make me say, shut up and listen, 5 times in that script.
But
Interesting.
then you're meant to be the smart
Should be
one.
fun. Yeah, he is.
I know.
He's
And the tool
Anyway,
one.
we want to focus on the animals, remember? So the animals within.
Yeah. Fantastic Mr. Fox, his kids and his wife, and a badger, and a rat.
Yeah, there's loads.
Yeah.
Which ones stand out for you?
I like how the kids don't actually have names.
No, they don't, do they?
No, and they're just. I actually forgot what they're called, but
They're just there.
yeah.
In the play, they're called Freddy.
Well, it's Fox and
Freya.
Mrs.
Oh,
Fox.
they're called the small foxes.
The small
The 4
foxes.
small foxes. In our play, there's only 3.
Freya.
Freya, Freddy.
Yeah, we're going to say Freddie. There's one more.
Barnaby.
No, you and me both know that's not it. Oh,
So
is it
Emily,
the
are
one
you in the
Karis
play?
No.
No.
I think Carrot.
Karis plays Fred.
It's so confusing because the person who plays Mr. Fox is called Freya.
Well, of course they do, because the foxes.
It'd be interesting what it's like. So, yeah, is this one of your favourite Roald Dahls?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's one of like my favourite short stories.
Yeah, it is very short.
Because it's quite funny, and then it's just like really easy to read in like 10 minutes.
I was once really proud of myself because I read it in an hour.
How long is it?
Oh, it's not long
It's
at all.
82 pages. And then like quite big writing.
Oh yeah.
It's very fast moving.
Lots of pictures.
Very fast moving.
When you like reread books, you like see all the things you've missed.
I've never read the Roald Dahl books. Like my dad read them all to me, but I've never actually read them, and I was like 6 when he read them, so I can't remember any of them.
I was always confused why the foxes didn't just like dig under the hill and then come up and then just go like run away.
Well, they could have done. That might have been their backup plan in case the one to raid the farmhouses didn't work.
And then they could have just like gotten some lunch. They could have just gotten their dinner and then like a takeaway and then
But
just
they
go.
can. Well, they can do their own takeaway and they can feast forever. Spoilers.
I mean, no, because foxes live underground.
I mean, they have some digging here.
Apparently, that story.
They do.
Foxes don't live underground.
They do.
Are all the animals good?
I've got foxholes in my garden.
If like the farmers are the baddies, are all the animals goodies? Would you say?
I think the rat's kind of
The
a
rat
baddie.
isn't, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like the rats. No one likes the rats.
I don't like badgers because they eat
If you
hedgehogs.
want a nice rat, you have to go to Winter in the Willows.
Yes, absolutely.
That's
I didn't pick.
That's
That's
true.
an
I've seen
obvious
three
one. I
badgers
didn't pick.
before in my
But again, there's so
life.
many
I'd say
examples,
badger.
right? So
But they were all.
So, Emily, you would recommend Fantastic Mr.
Yes.
Fox?
yes, and Roald Dahl in general.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think that if you haven't like read Roald Dahl, that is illegal. Like you should read Roald Dahl.
I mean,
Yeah.
they probably
I'm not
Like you
sure-
should
I'm
read
not sure
at
it's a
least,
law.
at least one.
Okay, and like
I mean, I've read Lancelot.
Oh, we bet.
Isn't
David Roald Dahl is so much better than David.
That's not controversial. That's true. That's a fact.
It's a fact. I think it's a crime
Any
if
David
children
Walliams
read David
novels.
Walliams and I think
Unfortunately, well, it's a generational. You can't blame them in the sense it's a generational thing, isn't it? It depends what you're born with. So
What's the Roald Dahl story? The Roald Dahl eats it.
well, as long as they read it instead. If David Walliams is their way towards Roald Dahl, then that's a good
And
thing.
he went and ate the ones at the park.
Oh, well, you're off, Holly. Okay, well, can we thank Emily, please? Because obviously it's their first time at speaking Lit Soc, so thank you.
like
We do need to finish very soon.
Very soon. Are you
It's I'll very quickly contribute because we're running out of time. I'll very quickly mention Animal Farm. I don't want to talk about it too much. You all know Animal Farm,
Year 9
yes.
studying. Some of you know.
Yes, I've told
You
her.
might slump your head forwards, Ria, but it is a great book.
it's good. It's just like the thing is like in our lessons we're not reading them. Like they read it to us and like. They read so slowly. I finish like 5 pages when they read one.
Okay, well,
It's true.
I'm going to transport it out of the classroom. I'm not going to focus on the Russian Revolution or any of that stuff. I just want to talk about. Does anyone know how George Orwell came up with the idea for this book?
Because of the
Russian
Russian.
No. I just said put that aside. Why? Because he could have gone down a different. He could have gone down literally. Why did he? What does anyone know how he came up with having an animal, calling it Animal Farm and having something farm? No. So basically, one day he was walking along, and he observed a small boy who was riding a horse and cart, and the boy was whipping the horse. And it occurred to him because the horse is so much stronger and bigger than the boy. The horse and his boy. There we go. He thought, well, the horse could just, if he wanted to, if he had the mind to do it, could rebel, and that's what gave him the idea for Animal Farm, and that's why. And yes, like I said, I don't want to turn this into a year 8 English lesson, because you can read it on the level of just the animals, the talking animals. You got the pigs, you got the sheep who 4 legs good, 2 legs bad. You got Molly the colt who's very spoiled, and of course they do all represent archetypes, but it gives them. Nice, because there's differences within the pigs. Not all the pigs are the same. Boxer is a very loyal, very hard-working person, but he's a bit dumb. And then you got Clover, who's a bit more savvy. You got Benjamin, the cynical donkey. So there's lots of good complexities within this novella. So I just wanted to talk about that side of it. The repainting of the 10 Commandments. Yes.
Without cause.
I felt bad for Molly because they were trying to change her life around.
Exactly.
She just wanted to
Yeah. So I said I didn't want to go into the allegory stuff because you've done that to death. But
Old Major, yes.
He dies and like.
so he's Lenin. But anyway, like I said, I'm not supposed to talk about that.
Napoleon.
Yeah, Napoleon. That's
He's
my
not Napoleon though. He's.
I hate Napoleon.
So the other thing, of course, is that the animals are very much centre stage. Yes, you got Mr. Jones at the start. Yes, you got the human farmers towards the end, but it's all about the animals. Humans are secondary. So, well, in a way.
Humans are secondary.
So yeah, Animal Farm, great book. Miss Huntley, would you like to take us home?
No, he's not.
Guys.
All right, we need to finish up. Miss Huntley's just going to round things off for
We're
us.
rounding off with dragons because they are great
I love dragons.
beings. Okay, and in Earthsea, dragons are the eldest. And
We should do how to swim your dragon.
when Ged is a young man, who is the central wizard of the stories, he comes across the dragon of Pendor. And when you talk to a dragon, you become a dragon lord. But they don't speak our language, they speak the language of their own, which is the language of making, because they created the world. So,
But also,
and what Ursula Le Guin does is what Tolkien does, which is take the dragon from Beowulf and reinvent them. Beowulf is the Anglo-Saxon first story we have. 8 sons I had, little wizard, said the great dry voice of the dragon. 5 died, 1 dies. Enough. You will not win my hoard by killing them. I do not want your hoard. The yellow smoke hissed from the dragon's nostrils. That was his laughter. Would you not like to come ashore and look at it, little wizard? It is worth looking at. So if you've read Tolkien, then you know, and you know The Hobbit, there's Smaug with his hoard. No dragon. The kinship of dragons is with wind and fire, and they do not fight willingly over the sea. That had been Ged's advantage so far, and he kept it. But the strip of seawater between him and the great grey talons did not seem much of an advantage any more. It was hard not to look into the green watching eyes. Men cannot look into a dragon's eyes. Women can. You are a very young wizard, the dragon said. I did not know men came so young into their power. He spoke as did Ged in the old speech, for that is the tongue of dragons still. Although the use of the old speech binds a man to truth, this is not so with dragons. It is their own language, and they can lie in it, twisting the true words to false ends, catching the unwary hearer in a maze of mirror words, each of which reflects the truth, and none of which leads anywhere. So Ged had been warned often, and when the dragon spoke, he listened with an untrustful ear, all his doubts ready. But the words seemed plain and clear. Is it to ask my help that you have come here, little wizard? No, dragon. Yet I could help you. You will need help soon against that which hunts you in the dark. So, Evo, because this is Evo, the dragon of Pendor, has read his mind almost and understands, because he's looking elsewhere, that something is hunting Ged. Ged stood down. What is it that hunts you? Name it to me. If I could name it, Ged stopped himself. Yellow smoke curled above the dragon's long head from the nostrils that were 2 round pits of fire. If you could name it, you could master it, maybe, little wizard. Maybe I could tell you its name when I see it close by, and it will come close if you wait about my isle. It will come wherever you come. If you do not want it to come close, you must run and keep running from it, and yet it will follow you. Would you like to know its name?
Yeah. He doesn't tell the name.
No, he doesn't tell the name because Ged doesn't want to know his name, because they're going to have this banter about names, basically, and he binds Evo with his name. He doesn't want him to go to the Isles and destroy them.
Because names hold power.
Names hold power.
You'd want to know the name.
Yeah, you do.
He did. He had to find out its name, but he wanted the power over Evo first, rather than Evo having power over him.
But he's a dragon.
He's a dragon.
He wants himself. Why would he want to help him?
Good point.
It's a great, great book.
Yeah, which came first, Tolkien or
Tolkien?
Tolkien did.
Tolkien. She's written quite extensively about Tolkien and his influence on lots of fantasy writers and how great he is. Because although the Anglo-Saxons came long before Tolkien.
They're like the oldest fantasy books I've actually read.
It's a great fantasy author, but also a great sci-fi author as well.
Yeah, sci-fi.
And we talked about some of it in the past, haven't we?
Yeah.
So
there we are. Anthropomorphic animals. Thank you for everybody for your contributions. Okay, so next week, Easter.
Bunnies and chocolate.
Bunnies and chocolate, and
it's also
saying
going to be
farewell
quite
to
short.
Ria.
And farewell to Ria, who is not here.
She's not here.
But yeah, we'll make it. We have to make it a bit shorter next week.
Yeah.
Okay, so bear that in mind. So we'll have to be
tennis school. Yeah.
snappy.
Okay.
All right. So we say goodbye. Bye everyone. Bye.